Chapter 4. Poverty and Social Sector. 4.1 What is meant by poverty in India? Poverty is defined as TH minimum basic consumption level, essential for survival. It has been defined by the Planning Commission of India in terms of calorie intake. Absolute P/T is a condition, W here the calorie intake is less than 2,400 kcal per person per day in rural areas and 2,100 kcal per person per day in urban areas. The World Bank has coined its own universal definition of poverty levels as per person consumption of less than $1 per day. Relative poverty is a cross difference in income levels of the rich and the relative poor. Even by this crude definition of Planning Commission of absolute poverty, it is estimated that over 230 million people are living below poverty line (BPL). According to the definition of World Bank, the numbers would increase significantly. India is said to have the largest number of people living BPL. The number of people BPL is even more higher than the entire population of the US. Poverty is largely concentrated in states such as UP, Bihar, Orissa, MP, West Bengal, and they account for over 50% of the total poverty in India. Despite over 6 decades of independence, why poverty continues to exist? It can be attributed to the large economic dependence on the agricultural sector, subsistence, traditional and stagnating, which are not able to provide enough for the dependent population in terms of employment opportunities, high levels of adult illiteracy, large number of landless, small and marginal farmers with no income support. There is absence of employment opportunities in the manufacturing sector. It is not about how poverty is measured, crude or refined. It is the biggest curse of post-independence India of not being able to address the large-scale poverty in the country despite the well-intended schemes, as can be seen in the following sections. 4.2 Social Sector. Social sector and poverty are interrelated as it largely comprises of those BPL and also that segment of the population which is outside the mainstream of development, which consists of the underprivileged, always at the receiving end, poor, backward classes and scheduled castes tribes. It will also have landless, small and marginal farmers who are 26. Engaged in casual work in the informal sector, living virtually on a daily basis. They are the most vulnerable section, prone to exploitation, domination, and do not have any voice, or can also be known as silent sufferers, or a mere spectator, to their pitiable and pathetic condition, oblivious of the fact that India is today one of the fastest growing economies. One has already seen earlier why this has happened. But what has the government done about this? It has adopted a three-pronged strategy to address the social sectors, which are as follows. 1. Broad targeting. 2. Narrow W targeting. 3. Social security. Broad targeting. Under broad targeting strategies, the government undertakes ambitious programs with sub-programs for overall and comprehensive development of the country. Example of the broad targeting programs are 1. Indira Awas Yojana. 2. Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. 3. Midday Meal Scheme. 4. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme (MGNREGA). 5. Total Sanitation Campaign. 6. Jawaharlal Nehru National Urban Renewal Mission (JNNURM). 7. Integrated Child Development and Services (ICDS). 8. National Rural Health Mission (NRHM). 9. Rajiv Gandhi Doctor Inking Water Scheme. Of all the above, the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme (MGNREGA) is the most ambitious project of the government, which is being implemented at the national level and of magnitude not seen anywhere in the world. It is the brainchild of Jean Drèze, a Belgian economist. This scheme has now been enacted and guarantees unskilled wage employment of 100 days to one person in every rural household at a minimum wage. The 100 days employment under this scheme is visualized in the lean season of agricultural activities. This scheme is being implemented in all the districts of the country and is seen as a major step in creating the employment opportunities and also for poverty alleviation in the country. Women are given preference for employment under this scheme, which has no middleman or contractor and directly being implemented by the gram panchayats, and the wages are paid in the bank account of those who are provided with the employment. The state governments are required to give unemployment allowance of 1/3 of the wages if not able to provide employment within 15 days of their registration. This scheme has been globally lauded as one of the most well-intended schemes for the social sector anywhere in the world. Critics of the scheme, however, feel that such a scheme could be damaging in the long run by pushing up the minimum wages and increase cost in the agricultural as well as the Indian economy. 27. Poverty and social sector. Urban areas adversely affect productivity and also prevent migration of labor, besides fueling inflation. Narrow targeting. The government is attempting narrow targeting, which are as follows. 1. Wage employment scheme, primarily through Mahatma Gandhi Narega. 2. Self-employment schemes, primarily through Swaran Janti Gramin Sa Rozgar Yojana (SGSY) in the rural areas and through Swaran Janti Shahri Rozgar Yojana (SJSRY) in the urban areas. 3. Food security, primarily through TPDS, AAY, Annapurna scheme for senior citizens. Social security. The government is providing social security under its various programs such as Ayushman Bharat. The government's health strategy has broadly focused on three things: ensuring free drugs and diagnostics, creating health and wellness centers (HWCs) to reinvigorate the failing rural health infrastructure evident from Rural Health Statistics 2018, and addressing the shifting of disease burden to non-communicable diseases, and finally, covering 107 million poor families with an insurance cover of 5 lakh rupees for inpatient care under the Ayushman Bharat scheme. National Nutrition Mission (NNM). Poshan Abhiyan National Nutrition Mission is a flagship program of the Ministry of Women and Child Development (MWCD) Government of India, which ensures convergence with various programs, i.e., Anganwadi services, Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana (PMMVY) scheme for adolescent girls (SAG) of MWCD, Janani Suraksha Yojana (JSY), National Health Mission (NHM), Swachh Bharat Mission, Public Distribution System (PDS), Department Food and Public Distribution, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme (MGNREGS), and Ministry of Drinking Water and Sanitation. The goals of NNM